Hello everyone, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay,
Good
yeah,
morning.
good morning. So today we are going to start with DevOps. What about DevOps? Why we are starting? So if you remember, in the last session I discussed about Maven, correct? Normally, whenever you create your framework, then there are multiple ways to execute that framework, correct? When it comes to the part execution, then design is different, but execution, when we talk, there are many ways. Using TestNG XML, you can execute your project. Using Maven, you can execute your project. But for Maven execution, two things are important. We need these plugins to be have Surefire plugin, compiler plugin, and then through the goal, you can run a Maven project directly from your pom.xml file as well as through the command line. So these two techniques we have discussed in the last class. Okay. Today, there is a one more way to execute your framework that is possible through the Jenkins. But Jenkins, Git, GitHub, even Docker, everything comes under DevOps. So before coming to, okay, how to run project through the Jenkins, mainly people will check at the time of interview that do you aware about this process, how you can run your framework, how you can push your framework on GitHub, and through the GitHub, how it get executed directly by the Jenkins. Means we need to understand these tools first independently. Then we need to understand integration between these two. Maven to GitHub, GitHub to your Jenkins. And for that reason, basics of DevOps first, you need to understand. So today I will be starting with DevOps introduction. What exactly DevOps it is as a tester, why this information is important for us, right? So all these points we will discuss. We will do the software installation, okay, Git, GitHub, right? So be ready with your machines also. If anybody is able to share a screen, that will be great because there I can directly show you how to create your GitHub account, how to install Git Bash on your local machine, and then what is that Git architecture, why it is required, correct? So is it a one, it is just a 1 hour session, right? So we will try to cover most of the topics because sometimes installation will take some more time. So better what we can do. Today I will just introduce you what DevOps it is. Then we will have a complete installation part first. And then we will continue with our session on daily basis where you will understand separately what Jenkins, what Docker it is, and what Git and GitHub it is. So be ready with your machine. Okay, so after this introduction part, we will start first installing all these three tools on our local machine. I will show you how to install Jenkins, Git and GitHub even, and even Docker. So once we ready with the setup, it is easy to understand the topic and it is easy to immediately perform practical on that particular tool. On my machine, every tool is ready, right? But I wanted to show you on your machine so that whenever I complete this topic, at least you are able to practice. Fine. So coming to the main part, what is DevOps and why it is important to know information about DevOps? Okay, anyone have any idea before continue what is DevOps? Hmm? What
No.
exactly DevOps it is? Any idea? See, nowadays, like a development, like a testing, DevOps field also having very much popularity, right? You can choose a field as a DevOps engineer, right? But you need to understand what exactly DevOps team it is. What's the role responsibility of this team member, correct? So normally you know about this term that DevOps means Dev is for the development, correct? And Ops is all about the operational team. See, I told you in IT there are multiple environments available. We have build environment, correct? Then we have a QA environment where we can test our application. Then we have something called stage environment, right? Again, there is a pre-port test and post stage. Okay, those stage also available. And even we have a deployment, right? That is our main production. I can say before deployment, it's a production. And then we can finally release our application to the customer. So many environments are there. But where exactly DevOps came into the picture and what DevOps it is, why it is required, that is the point you need to understand first. So guys, just have a look. Okay. First of all, development team. Okay. Who are the responsible member of a development team, right? And we need to discuss about operational team. Who are the members of a operational team? So coming to this part, development team and the operational team. Development team means those are responsible to design, develop, and test the application. Normally business analyst, right? Your system architect, then we can say developers, even QA team, all are part of a development team, right? Even when it comes to the operational team, we can say system admin, right? Let me write system admin here, some kind of network admin, right? Database engineer, right? So all these are what? There are many, you can say entities or user, but these all are comes under operational team. What are the responsibilities of development team and the operational team? See, development team, they develop, design, and test their application. But whenever they develop, design, and test their application, they just need certain environment to have. Correct? So very first need is what? They need some specific environment. I can say better stable environment where they can design, develop, and test their application. That is the basic need that the development team is having. Let's say I wanted to test my application on Playwright, Cypress, or let's say JMeter. Then I need that environment. Then only I can test my application on that particular tool. Agree? Okay, suppose I wanted to test my application in a distributed environment. Again, it's a platform. On different platform, as a tester, I wanted to test my application. But if that environment is ready, then only I can proceed. Developer needs suppose specific environment, right? Again, the same rule. If that environment is ready, then only they can proceed. So, in general, every development team, they are responsible to have certain environment and then only they can complete their journey. What is the role? What is the responsibility of a operational team? Operational team, they are always responsible to serve your request. Whatever environment need you can send that request to the operational team. And every time operational team will serve your request. But guys, how they serve your request? See, you need specific environment to be ready, specific server to be started and all. Then operational team is responsible, first of all, create that environment, correct? And then provide that environment to you, whatever you needed, right? So operational team is responsible to serve whatever your request it is, whatever specific time and whatever your expectation it is based on that. So can I say that in a simple word, operational team is responsible to provide infrastructure, right? Whatever infrastructure I'm expecting, that infrastructure management and even infrastructure, okay, providing that infrastructure to the development team, that's the main responsibility of a operational team. Technically, if server is, okay, any server is created, then that server should be up and running, right? So every single status, whether server is working fine, okay, whether server is up and running, it should not get down. Who will check this all detail? Everything is done by the operational team. So DB admin, network admin, system admin, they will take care of this entire process. Okay, whatever environment you needed, is it that environment or infrastructure is working fine? So every time development team share their environmental need to the operational team, infrastructure need. And the same infrastructure, who will serve back? Absolutely operational team will serve back to the development team. But now just think, nowadays we need flexibility, correct? In every software development, there might be possibility as per as customer asks you any kind of change. We need to immediately update that change and we need to provide to the developer or I mean to say that customer, correct? So every time we need, can I say, agility in our project, correct? In fact, whenever there are changes in the project, there might be every time changes in the requirement or environment also, infra also, correct? And then every time we are sending request to the operational team that, okay, give us back that specific environment, whatever we are expecting. But if the request is again and again passing to the operational team, guys, before serving that environment, before serving that infrastructure, operational team has to do many checks, right, related to server. And even though you are asking again and again some infrastructure, okay, need, maybe some changes you need required every time as per the expectation of the customer. In that case, it is quite difficult to provide that particular infrastructure immediate, okay, as soon as you ask for that particular request. The problem is what? So every time development team, they're they're asking some new environment, new infrastructure, but every time operational team has to provide that. But what if we are not able to serve it? Means if the team is not able to serve it, in that case there is a problem. Maybe you might have a different requirement and operational team is not clear with your requirement. Means what is the problem? If there is a problem in between these two team, okay, sending the request to the op team and op team, whatever you are providing it, if it is not match, in that case it will impact on a complete project. What do you think? It will impact on a complete project or that particular product will be not delivered on time. Why? Because there is a problem with both the team. Development team again and again passing some change request to the operational team. An operational team has to do many tasks internally and they are not able to serve the environment immediately. Okay, they have certain delay. In that case, what will happen? If there is a delay to get the infrastructure, automatically project will be delayed. And in that case, it will impact on many factors, the budget, duration, right, and the quality of the product. And that's the reason we need something where we can collaborate both the task, development task and the operational task. And how this collaboration is possible? So here comes DevOps. Okay. DevOps is what? Is it a process? Is it a technology? Is it a methodology? No, guys. We can say it is a simple, we can say all the, or one team. Okay. It is a process where one team can manage entire development and operational task. Okay. DevOps is a process where one team can manage entire development plus operational task. So we need collaboration with the help of DevOps. But then is that mean like, okay, whatever methodologies we are using in normal development life cycle, is it not suitable? Why then DevOps came into picture? Why this kind of problems or we need something collaboration between these two teams? Let's understand this part, everyone. Whenever we talk about SDLC, right? Traditional approach is what? Waterfall. We can say sequential development. So when it comes to the waterfall development, or we can say sequential development, what is the main part? In waterfall, it's a first of all rigid process. One by one, all the phases we need to follow to develop the application. So can I say it's a slow process, right? Whenever it comes to the operational team, okay, and the waterfall approach, just understand the responsibility. So it's a slow process because very first requirement gathering and analysis will happen. After that design, after that development. Once the development done, then only we can go ahead with testing and the other phases. But at that time, operational team has a responsibility, whatever process it is, okay, up to that process, uptime serve for that, particular software or particular server, whatever environment it is, for a longer duration. Are you getting my point? If this provide you certain server setup, they need to, okay, serve this server for a longer duration. So can I say that server serve for a longer duration? So that's the problem. So whatever the step it is, suppose this process required 6 months, 8 months, 1 year. Up to that server should be up and running and server should be provided what? Some longer duration it is needed, okay, by that operational team. Again, it's not flexible, no? What do you think? What about flexibility? Can we make a change in the waterfall? Whenever we have all the phases to be followed one by one. In that case, suppose customer asks you some kind of update. That is not possible in waterfall. Are you getting my point? So in waterfall, we cannot make changes in between the process. So somewhere what the challenge operational team might face, it is not at all flexible. So somewhere configuration management that becomes a problem. Okay. Configuration management, it can become a poor or it can become a various problems to manage that entire configuration for a longer duration. So this kind of challenges they might face. Another challenge is what? What if the complete development happen for a long time, longer duration time? In that case, whatever software we will we will able to develop, maybe that complete software will be late, right? So if duration takes more time to design and develop the application, that complete software will be late. Okay, delivery will be late. I will say complete software delivery will be late. But in that case, I can say, yes, in terms of operational team, they might face, if the delivery will be late, if it is longer duration, they might face the challenge with the monitoring also. How they can monitoring the entire server status, entire infrastructure status. So these are the challenges before DevOps we followed, okay, or generally we face in this entire development process. So if you talk about example of waterfall sequential development, initially these are the challenges. Okay, it is very slow process because we have to follow one by one. Not at all flexible because customer cannot add changes in between. And even though if you face this kind of duration problem, then complete software can become late. And in that case, operational team also have some challenges. Okay, then you can say that, okay, fine, then that's the reason we have agile methodology. Yes, absolutely. Agile methodology can overcome the problems of guys development team. Agile is not here to overcome problems of operational team. What do you think? Agile will help you to handle what? Okay, frequent changes, right? Normally in agile, developer, tester, everybody they can work together. So you might able to identify bug early in the life cycle and you might able to fix it also early. Software is also we are able to release early in the life cycle. Why? Because in waterfall we have to wait until the complete software get ready. All the process we have to follow. But in agile it's very faster. Agree? But what do you think? Even though we are using agile methodology, these problems is agile able to handle? How the server or whatever the infrastructure that operation team is giving to you, is it they are able to manage for a longer duration? Sometimes they might face some poor configuration problem, poor monitoring problem. Agile is not for the operational part. Remember, agile methodology is what? It is all about your development part. Frequent changes are possible, code will be stable, developer, tester, everybody, they can work in a collaborative manner and they will fix the defects also, and early release also possible in agile, which is not possible in waterfall. But still, agile methodology will not handle problems with operational team. In a simple word, what is agile? Agile is all about continuous development plus continuous testing plus continuous integration. Remember CD, it's for development. CT, it is for testing. And CI, it is for continuous integration. As I told you in Agile, developer, tester, they can work together. So how this process will be? Consider this is week one schedule. In week one, let's say A module is developed by the developer, right? Absolutely development done by the developer. What we can do in the week two then? Once the model will be ready, A will be tested by the tester. So I will say A will go into testing phase and developer immediately start developing B module. So this is again development testing going on parallelly. Are you getting my point? In week three, what will happen? Yeah. Again, whenever B will be developed, B will go into testing, right? And developers start developing C development, C model development. In week 4, whenever both the models are ready, completed their testing, then A plus B, what we can do, guys? Can I say it's an integration? Agree? So how exactly Agile works? It's all about development testing goes parallelly. Okay, every week development and testing is going on. And it is going on actually parallelly, okay, and incrementally. So that is the reason Agile, it could overcome the challenges of development team. But agile is not there to overcome challenges, whatever challenges that operational team will face. And that's the reason, guys, to overcome challenges from the both the methodology, agile, even waterfall, what we need DevOps. Are you getting my point? DevOps will help you, okay, to overcome both the challenges, development team also and the operational team also. So what is DevOps? If anybody asks you, just remember it is a process where one team is able to manage development and operational team, both the challenges. And in shortcut, what exactly DevOps does? Then let me tell you. In DevOps, we have continuous development. Yes. Continuous testing, continuous integration. Okay. Then we have continuous deployment. Let me write one more D for the deployment delivery. And you can say continuous monitoring. M stand for monitoring. This whole process where we can manage starting from the development up to continuous monitoring, everything is possible only through the DevOps. Try to understand. So DevOps is a one particular culture. We can say it's a process through which we are able to manage all this process. Not only development, but that main deployment, delivery, monitoring, that is also we are able to manage. See, one more shortcut to remember. If I talk about waterfall, yeah. So in waterfall, normally what happen? So development, right? Then testing, QA, right? In fact, operational task. Everything will be independent because it's the traditional approach. Agree? What happens in Agile? Whenever Agile came into market, Agile is all about collaboration between dev and QA, right? So can I say dev and QA get combined? And now we have development plus QA combinedly, collaboratively we can do. That's the main goal of Agile. But operational team is again separate, guys. Then in the market, DevOps came. And what the DevOps is all about? The combination of development plus operational. And so it becomes dev plus ops, DevOps. Are you clear what exactly DevOps it is? Just understand. So traditional approach, agile methodology, and DevOps. Agile will overcome problems of development, but operational team issues will remain same. And so we need this DevOps team so that smoothly we can deliver the product to the customer. So technically what you need to understand in this process, coming to the DevOps, it is a combination of cultural, engineering practices, patterns, tools that increase organization ability to deliver the applications, right? And even the service, okay, and service at a higher velocity and better quality. That is the main goal of a DevOps team. Just a minute. Let me again share a screen. Okay, my marker is not work. So that's the main goal of a DevOps team. So DevOps word originated to remove the gap between development team and the operational team. And that's the reason we can merge in a single word like dev means development team and the op means operational team. And so it becomes DevOps. So as per the agile standard, development team, okay, constitutes both developers plus QA, right? Just now we discussed. But there is no such a differentiation between the skill role. Normally, everybody, those are involved in the development process, those become development team. So it's not only developer responsibility. Now QA, BA, in fact, developer, designer, everybody they can just consider as a what? Development team. So all the technical team, same point, all the technical team who contribute the product, okay, to the product, those are simple call it as development team. So there is no such a difference now. Coming to the DevOps life cycle. So guys, this site, I mean, this image you have many time observed on the okay application on the Google, but what exactly it is? Try to understand DevOps is a practice that allows single team to manage entire application development. And that is same thing, development, testing, deployment, monitoring. And so we call it as DevOps. And please look at the screen. These are the all phases that we follow under DevOps. Very first, there is a planning. Once the planning is done, requirements and all, user stories and all, developer develop the code. Once the developer develop the code, they build the code. And after building, we can test it. So here come testing. After your manual testing process, automation testing process completed, we can release it. Release is to where? In the operational team, guys. Means normally we release it on the production environment where we can go with final testing. So there is a deployment phase. Then after that, product will be operate. Means final installation, it is check, final check where we can check that whether product is working in the UAT environment, user acceptance environment. And if yes, then absolutely we can release it to that particular customer. But throughout this whole process, starting from the development up to deployment, right, we need monitoring continuously. So monitoring goes, and suppose if any failure occur, again we have to start with the plan. So this is a full life cycle, which is called DevOps life cycle, where we have all these phases: plan, code, build, test, release, then deploy, then operate, and then monitor. But monitoring is not after operate, guys. Generally, these operational team, these process, it will goes continuously. So it is all about continuous development, continuous testing, continuous deployment, and even continuous monitoring. So that is called DevOps. Now coming to the DevOps part, is it a developer team or tester team needs to know all the different tools, whatever it is there for the infrastructure management, whatever it is there for the development? No, you will not become DevOps engineering after understanding this topic. For DevOps engineer role, that engineer has to know all the rule, all the tools. Okay, as a QA team, you guys are not responsible to have a knowledge on every tool, and that is in fact not possible. Because for every step, if you can check, there are different tools available. At least you should know about the development, that is fine. But for every infrastructure management, okay, for configuration management, for virtualization, for monitoring, there are multiple tools and different tools followed by the organization. So you can't remember everything, and that's not your role. You are not here to understand DevOps engineering role, right? But you just need to understand as a tester, you are the part of this DevOps life cycle. So you should know that how tester can contribute to the process. Are you getting my point? That's the reason this complete life cycle understanding of this process is very, very important. Coming to the part, what is CI/CD? Yeah, many of the time you have heard this term, CI/CD. And it's very simple: continuous integration, continuous delivery, and deployment. Always understand this D stands to meaning: delivery first and then deployment. So normally what happen? See the point. Just to understand CI/CD process, I told you very first build will be developed by the developer. Okay. And there is a QA team. Now just assume developer share one build to the QA team. Let's say this is build number 1. Okay. Let me write B1. Okay. Now QA team has, they have a responsibility to test it. Either we do manual testing, then if manual testing is stable, we can go with automation testing. But suppose if QA team identify any defect, let's assume that we got one defect, right, while testing the app. We have to immediately reply back to the developer team that, okay, we have some defect and please fix it. Then what the developer will do? Developer immediately notice your defect and developer has to fix that defect. But after making change, developer will release second build to the QA team. This is build number 2 because it got modified. Previous build got modified with the new feature or with that particular defect, right? Defect got fixed now. Again, QA team has to check that whether previous defect is fixed, whether latest module or latest build number 2 it is stable. Means again we have to go with regression testing too. Confirm that whether change should not have any impact on the unchanged area of the software. Is it your software get compromised with this new change? Who is responsible to test it? Absolutely you. You are responsible to test it. Whenever it is sure that, okay, fine, again there is no defect, nothing, right? Then only QA team will release that application to stage environment. Are you getting my point? So technically this is the process. Here for every frequent change, QA and the developer, they work in a collaborative manner, right? Then I can call it as continuous integration, guys. So absolutely the build will be developed. Let's say module 1, module 2, independently developer has tested. Whenever both will be done, we need to combine it and combinedly we test that both the feature. So it is all about build plus test it and then you can do what? Integration. Correct? This is all about build means development plus testing plus integration. This is called continuous integration. Agree? Now after that, whenever you are make sure that your product is stable, you can pass it to the stage environment. What is exactly stage environment? Somewhere we can refer it as UAT also. User acceptance testing also. Why? Because here we have to confirm whether your project is ready to deliver. Is it your project is ready? Is it we can deliver it? If yes, then only it goes to the production environment. And in production environment, that decision will be taken care for what? deployment. Can we deploy the project? Right? So these three phases are very important. And coming to the CI, so starting from the build up to test and the integration, we can call it as CI process. What does mean by CD? D has too many. So starting from the build, testing, integration, and the delivery, this is called CD, but this is for delivery phase. And again, starting from the build up to this deployment, if you are doing this continuously, then it is stand for continuous deployment. So CI/CD is not about only deployment. You need to answer it is continuous integration, continuous delivery, and deployment. Are you getting my point? So these three phases, in a more detailed way, it is mentioned here. First, code will be ready, developer develop the build, we do integration, we test it, finally we release it and we can deploy. So continuous integration means starting from the development, okay, up to testing. That is integration. Delivery means up to release. Release is nothing but this is the stage phase, correct? Where we can check software is ready to deliver. And finally, we can deploy. This is called continuous deployment. So all these phases we do in a collaborative manner. Means we can say, what we can say the better word, it's like a parallel work. Yes, you can say that. Or you can say it's a collaborative work. Everybody, they can work together and they will simply complete this process. That is called CI/CD. Again, this is the main journey that we need to understand. How exactly and where exactly tester has to test the application. Normally, guys, in every organization, whenever requirements user story get collected by the customer, right? Then every developer, they start independently working on that project. Very first, it's a responsibility of a developer to develop it. Absolutely, as a manual tester, right? As a manual tester, we start writing our test cases parallelly. Agree? That's your role. So to maintain a test case, we have some management tool. Agree na? We don't use to maintain a test case GitHub, guys. We use certain management tool. Now management tool and automation tool both are different. Management tool based on certain process, automation tool based on certain execution process. So normally daily developers, they are developing their code and daily they are updating something in the code. Now see, suppose today they have just started with module 1. 3 developers are working on module 1 and they need to collaboratively check their work. In fact, so at 6 p.m. suppose every 6 p.m. I need to, send my code to the manager, like whether my code is correct or something, right? Developer has to check how they can make this possible collaboratively because they are doing their work on their local machine. Are you getting my point? For this, for a collaboration between all the team member, what we have version control system. You can say software configuration management. And there comes the tool Git, GitHub, Git Bash, GitLab. Lot of tools are there. Most popularly, you should know at least anyone. Either GitHub, GitLab, that is fine. But anyone you should know. How exactly we can able to do this version control management or SCM, software configuration management. So now why this information is important for tester? See, for manual tester, I told you we need management tool to maintain our test cases. But what about automation? As an automation engineer, you are responsible to maintain your logics, your code. But where you are going to write your scripts and maintain your code or scripts, there comes again we need a version control system. So actually this concept raised from the development side, but we can use it in testing also. Now you also need to understand whenever you complete any module, any automation for a particular script, how you are passing that code onto GitHub. Why on GitHub? Because see, Git is for local machine. Just understand. Git software we need on a local machine. So from the local machine where I'm having that working directory, where I'm having that code, I wanted to share that code on the remote side. GitHub, if you ask me, this is a remote site. Okay, GitHub is a software where we have a remote, it's a remote application where we can design a repository and that repository we can share with a multiple user. Are you getting my point? So how these three developers, they are able to work together? Yeah, it's possible because of GitHub. How multiple automation engineer, they are able to work together? Again, it is possible through the GitHub repository. So I will be covering separately what is this version control system. But this is our first step we need to understand. Whenever you write a code, how you are passing it to GitHub. And why? Because with a team, we are able to work on that particular GitHub, guys. Correct? So in a collaborative manner, we are able to work together. And that's the reason we need to understand what is software configuration management. Now coming to testing, right? Whenever code is ready, whenever you test it, so we know that for testing, we have used so far Selenium too, right? So whatever your type of application it is, based on that, you can select the tool. It can be Selenium, it can be Cypress, it can be Playwright, anything. So we learn with the Selenium part. Okay, but then how we can able to manage this process? So code from the GitHub, I can able to test it. Let's say whenever developer push the code, okay, that application is ready. That build we can extract and that build we can test, right? We can test our application. So how that code we can take from GitHub and we can test that code if it is starting from development process. If it is development first, they are pushing their code onto the central repository. We can download that code and we can test our application. But you know, this collaboration is possible with one master tool. Can you see here? It's a Jenkins. It's a Jenkins, which is a very popular automation server. With the help of this server, actually, Jenkins will help you in the many of these ways. But let me tell you, complete CI/CD process we can manage through the Jenkins. So it is very popular, guys. At least as a tester, you should know what is Jenkins also. Not only testing, Jenkins manage deployment, Jenkins manage monitoring, okay, virtualization, even you are creating suppose other environment. Jenkins will help you in every step. So in a simple word, Jenkins is one of the automation server and that will help you to manage your CI/CD process. Absolutely, as a tester, what's your role? You are here up to CI role. Are you getting my point? You are here up to only CI role. Okay, not CD. I'm so sorry. It's a CI. Correct? Continuous integration. But delivery, deployment, that's not your task. Here comes DevOps team. Correct? They will take care about the delivery and deployment. But to manage all this process together, which is called CI/CD process, the tool which is available in the market, which is very popular, that is a Jenkins. Are you getting my point? So in our session under DevOps, what exactly we are learning, I told you. As an automation engineer also, you guys are writing your logics on your local machine. So on local machine, we are writing our logics. We need to understand first how that project we are able to pass on the GitHub. Why GitHub? Because here you can learn, how the team they are able to work together. Then through the GitHub, we can pass it into Jenkins. And through the Jenkins, we can execute our project. Once the Jenkins task is done, right? Suppose somewhere you might require some extra environment to be created. There comes Docker. Any individual environment you wanted to create, you can create that environment. And again, you can pass, okay, to the Jenkins. Because Jenkins is a main where we can able to do the deployment. Correct, everyone? So this is the tool. There are many tools, but at least as a tester, these three important to you. Okay. See, nowadays AWS and all, there are many things available, but that is not required and we are not covering that. I will be taking care about GitHub, what is Jenkins and what is Docker. In most of the scenarios, we need this part. This is very common. Okay. Nowadays, whenever you go for automation interview, people will ask you, okay, they will give you certain assignment. People will ask you, do complete it, share your code on the GitHub and just, okay, send to them. That is what happened in the real time. So you should know at least basic knowledge on the GitHub. What is GitHub? How we can simple work on GitHub? What is branching concept? How we can clone the project? These are very basics and that everybody has to know. So I'm taking care about this part, right? Coming to theory. Okay. So this is the main journey. Now here I have introduced separate process. What does mean by CI? So I told you it's all about continuous development, continuous testing, and then we can do what? We can integrate the two. Means whatever modules are ready, we can integrate it and we can test it, whether it is okay ready to release or not. So CI is a software development practice where developers regularly merge their code. Guys, why it is everything related to development? I told you These all concepts coming from the development. But as a tester nowadays, it is important for us also to understand what is CI process, because in the CI you are the involved, correct? So normally what happen, where the developer regularly merge their code, they changes into the central repository, right? And after which automated build and test are run. So very first developer develop the code, they will share to the GitHub or any kind of central repository. And after that only we can continue with our testing process, and finally we can integrate. So continuous integration involves series of automatic steps. Now coming to the how this journey will be automatic, so it is possible through the tool. So in the tool, what we can do, we can set this process like this, that where the continuous integration involve series of automatic steps that will integrate the code from multiple sources, that will create the build, and finally we can go for testing. So that is possible with the CI process. Main goal is what? Release new update quickly. So whenever we have this process automatic, okay, where the code get merged immediately it will build and immediately it will test. In that case, we are able to release your product early, right? Again, it will enable independent team to collaborate on the same project. If you have this automatic process, see, just think, if everybody is doing manual work, in that case, what were the challenges? See, suppose, okay, let's talk about this is the development team. Fine. And every developer, they're working on their local machine, correct? Here is a developer A, here is a developer B, here is a developer C. Everybody, they are working on their local machine. What is the problem in this process? Where is the code? Code is available here, right? Suppose we provide only some drive access. Consider it is just a drive, okay? In that case, what will happen? They are able to share their document, right? So suppose developer A completed the task, developer B also completed, developer C also completed. Tomorrow, if anybody change anything on the drive, okay, first of all, because it's a normal drive, we are not able to track the changes. Are you getting my point? Anything got updated, you will not get those details who have made the changes. When the changes made into that particular application or document, right? And even suppose you have shared one document here and developer is again modifying the same document, you are not able to maintain same version of a document again and again because it is just a drive, right? So we don't need drive mechanism. We don't need any folder thing. We need something where we can manage each and every work, where we can track each and every changes. And that's the reason we need a concept of repository. This is a repository which is only possible with the SCM, software configuration management, right? So what is management? How it is possible to create a repository? That is possible through the GitHub only. So that's the reason, guys, I will be covering this topic. So when you have continuous integration, absolutely everybody, they can collaborate their work. We can identify, fix the potential issue before they cause any damage, right? Because every module get developed, tested, and finally we integrate also. So if you found any defect, immediately we are able to fix it. This process is called continuous integration. Just remember in shortcut, application will build first, then we test it and we integrate also. Correct now? Then we can say it's a continuous integration, right? When it comes to the continuous testing, what does mean by testing? Absolutely. It's a process of executing automated tasks as a part of a software delivery pipeline. We will discuss what is this pipeline, right? But see the process. Suppose developer on the day one, okay, any sprint meeting is happen, they develop the code, they commit their code. Okay, where they commit the code? Absolutely on the repo. Once it is done on second day, what we can do? So in second day, whenever they commit the code, we have to test it. Then they check the test report, right? If you have a defect, if you have sent that defect, developer has to fix that defect. And after making change, again, they will commit the code. And the process will remain same. Once they commit the code, we test it. Are you getting my point? So for every commit, we have to test the code and we have to confirm whether there is stable code or it is that code contains some kind of defect. So this process is called continuous testing. So developer is developing something, immediately we are testing it. Are you getting my point? So it's called continuous testing. Coming to delivery and deployment, two-step, right? So delivery is the software development practice where the code changes are automatically prepared for the release to the production. Now this is something interesting. Whenever code is complete, testing is done, everything is happened properly, right? Then that code automatically prepared for the delivery, means release into production environment. So this continuous delivery also provide, okay, automated release process. So what does mean by automated release process after integration and build stage? See, mainly it deliver new feature when they are needed. Okay. Build stable, even resilient system. So normally what happen if any changes occur, it will not impact on the other module, other feature or other process. So it's a resilient system. Clear? Again, we can say that ensure business application operate without any interruption. Normally what happen? If you are okay doing some operations, doing some tasks, right? It's all about the delivery I'm talking about. But what we need, smooth delivery, right? We should not have any disturbance or any kind of impact on the other process. So that's the reason mainly delivery process is important. So continuous delivery relies on the human to decide what to release, okay, to the user and when. This was the traditional approach. Previously, what to release, when to release, it was totally depends on that human. But when you have automatic process, now once the code is ready, it is merged, it is built properly, it is tested properly, we can set the delivery process, we can schedule that particular pipeline where that process will be automatically execute whenever one task is completed. So here actually concept of pipeline is important. Okay. How they do this automation? So guys, for that they set the pipeline. Whenever build a task is complete, immediately testing task pipeline process will start. Whenever testing is complete, immediately they start with the delivery pipeline. So I will be showing you this part also, how to create a delivery pipeline and how to proceed with this pipeline in the Jenkins session. Okay, so don't worry for that. But previously it was the human process and now we are able to do this automatic. So deployment rate depends on that business requirement. Okay, how the application we can deploy. If it is really completed everything as per the requirement, then only we can deploy. But deploy is like a release. Okay, continuous deployment means every code changes and it goes to the automatic pipeline. Yeah. Working versions of that application are automatically released to the production. So let's say module 1 started, module 1 built, module 1 tested, module 1 is completed their delivery process, that is it is ready to release, then it goes automatically to the production environment. So we have to set all these tasks. Again, it's a concept of pipeline. Then only that deployment is possible. So normally in delivery, what happens? See, continuous deployment does not have any release approval cycle. I told you, delivery is all about UAT. We have to confirm whether application is ready to release. So we need some approval cycle. But in deployment, there is no such a case. It is directly deployed to the production environment, and there we can directly check that final check and we can release the product. So as there are no manual trigger, this setup depends on automatic testing and prevents the bug, okay, from the reaching to end user. So the goal to continuous deployment is what? Enable an almost okay constant release of the update and user receive update as soon as developer write and test the code. So deployment means immediately customer can able to give the feedback also, they can check the product also, and immediately based on the feedback, we are able to make the changes also in that process. So it's all about development, operational team collaboration, guys. So that's the reason CI/CD is very popular nowadays. And we are able to make it possible using Agile also. Remember, Agile is the methodology which is based on CI/CD. But it is internally through the different tools. And there are variety of tools available. So how this delivery pipeline will work? Okay, I will cover this topic at the time of Jenkins introduction. But I hope basics for this DevOps is clear. What is CI? What is CD? D stand for two, again, different meaning, delivery and the deployment, right? So these parts, first of all, you need to understand very well. So this topic, delivery pipeline, even what exactly Jenkins it is, how the Jenkins will help you, scenario before Jenkins, what was, after Jenkins, how the Jenkins is suitable for all the possible things. We will discuss these topics during the Jenkins. What I'm going to do today, I have just introduced you basics of DevOps. Now we are going to start with, okay, first step, Git version control system. What is Git? What is GitHub? Why we need version control system? We will have an introduction for this part first. I told you very first we will cover the practical on Git and GitHub also. Once it is done, we will move towards to Jenkins and then I will show you what is Docker. Is this clear? To understand the flow, understand the topic, right? Okay, coming to this software. Now, before understanding theory and the practical mostly we will start tomorrow. But let me just show you how to install Git on a machine and how to create your own account on a GitHub. So how many of you are having account on GitHub? Do you have any account on GitHub?
No,
Okay, what about others?
I have ma'am also.
Right, you are also having, right? Okay. I think Supriya, you don't have account, right?
Yes.
Okay. So can you share a screen? If anybody is ready with the screen, just share. Let me stop sharing. Today, let's complete our installation setup part. And tomorrow we will understand what GitHub it is, why it is required, and how to push the code on GitHub, right? Practical, I will start tomorrow. Okay, so if anybody is ready with the system, I think Sheetal, you also don't have, you can share, no problem at all. Anyone? I have given the access, just share your screen. It's a quick setup. It will hardly take 10 minutes, no more time. So it's easy.
Can I share?
Yeah, sure, sure. You can share. Anyone can share, no problem. So once I share the recording, just follow this recording and do complete the step, right? If you wanted to do with me, you can. Okay, so first step, guys, we need two softwares now. One is the local for our local machine, and second one we needed for our remote side. So do one thing, Priyanka, just search in Google Git download. Okay, very first Git download, right? See, you guys are able to see first site gitscm.com. Click on that. Okay, and this will shows you like as per your platform, it is asking you to download the Git for your platform. So whatever your platform it is, click on it. And then see there is a first link available. Click here to download. Yeah, it's by default, it will take as per your platform. So just click on that link. Perfect. And it will start downloading, guys. Okay. We need this software so that we can manage our local machine work. So it's like a command prompt only. You will get another shell where you can execute your command and you can test your result. Fine. Okay, click on that download, check that how much, file size it is. Okay, it is something around 67 MB, I guess. Okay. Perfect. So once the software is ready, now see it's a direct exe file. You can double click and start execution. It might ask you that do you want it to allow this software? Then do allow. And then you will see this first page, right? So here you can just click on next. It's all about your agreement. Then this is the location you can see. Git software get installed by default at this location. If you wanted to change, you can change it later, right? No problem at all. For now, you can continue with the same and click on next. Now here one point. We don't need to change any setup. For now, just follow the step, click on next, 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 unless and until you are getting what install step. So just continue next, next, Again, next. No need to have any change. Click on next, 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 again, next. Yes, next. And finally, next. One more. We need to continue. Next. Okay, click on next again and install. That's it. So technically, no need to make any changes. Okay, rest of the changes remain same. Whatever by default setup it is, we will have that. We will just use that. Okay. Okay. And now here, uncheck the checkbox view release notes. We don't need to check that and just click on first one, launch Git bash, and then click on finish. Guys, done. Once software is installed on your machine, how to check version? Just follow one command. It's like a command prompt only. Just write here git. Okay, git, every command starts with a git only. Okay, so git, then you need to write space, give space, and then you need to write two time hyphen, two hyphens, and then write version. Okay, enter. Perfect. So on your machine, you have 2.49, that software or git version is available, right? So git is ready on your machine. Now you can close it. This window you can close and then open another browser, I mean another tab, and just search for GitHub download. So GitHub download means you need to create an account only. It will open just official website, GitHub desktop. Yeah, you can click on that. No problem at all. Okay, wait, but I think it is asking you for desktop, right? Go back. We just need remote repo. So better you can select the second line, I mean second, see github.com. Better. Third link. Can you see that? github.com? Yeah, go with that. Because we don't need desktop version again, right? Okay, so guys, those don't have any account. It's very simple to create an account on GitHub, but let me cover all the steps. So just click on sign up. Yes. And you have to fill the detail. Now make sure, Priyanka, you are writing your email ID, password you have to set. Okay, so here you can see the rule. Password should be 8 to 15 character long. Numbers and the lowercase are accepting. So give your Gmail account email, that is fine. And you can just save the password for the GitHub account. So write your email, valid email, perfect. And create a new password for your GitHub page. So make sure that all the letters are lowercase and numbers are allowed. Okay. And make sure that you need to remember it also because we need it tomorrow whenever we start with practical part. Okay. So remember username and the password. If you want, you can write it somewhere else and then you can just confirm it. Okay, one suggestion from my side, whenever you are creating username, actually it shows your profile name. So create it properly. Name, then surname, and any number you wanted to attach, you can add it. Because see, it says username may only contain alphanumeric character. Single hyphen allowed, and it cannot begin and end with the hyphen. Remember. So I would suggest give a name and some number because it's very general rule. Alphanumeric values only allowed. Perfect. Okay, country is the same. And now they're asking you, do you want any email to update or get the information about their product? No need. Just click on continue. Okay, now it will ask you one puzzle to verify this account. Just click on never or save. It is up to you. And go with visual puzzle. First one. Okay. And see, now they are asking you, okay, use the arrow and rotate the object in the face of direction of the hand. So the white color chair, you need to, okay, change the position of that chair as the hand is showing. So just click on that arrows. You have to use arrows. Hmm. Yeah, it is showing that word, that side, correct? Click on submit. So everyone get a different puzzle, right? Now, once it is done, you will get on your email ID one OTP. It's like that code you need to enter. So check from your mobile and then enter. Don't open email here directly. And guys, it will allow you with one email ID only one time setup. Okay. Okay. Now write your same email ID and the password and do login. Yeah, you can use password, email or username both. No problem. Perfect. So now you have account on GitHub. So everyone, I hope process is clear, right? How to create account on GitHub and how to install Git software. So tomorrow we will continue with the practice. Okay, what exactly we need to understand as a tester. Fine. I think this is enough for today. Remaining topics we will continue tomorrow, right? And please be ready with your machines also because I will be in this week completely. We need lot of setup, guys. So how to install Jenkins, okay, even your Docker and all. I will be covering all the points. So just be ready with your machine. Fine. Okay, great. So let's stop the session then for today. So Priyanka, you can make a note later your password and username, right? For a security purpose. Okay, fine. Okay, so let's stop the session. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye. Take care. Have a nice day. We will continue tomorrow. Thank you.
Thanks, ma'am.